From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're going to hold on to the opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms at least through the first half of the day. Then it looks like we're going to begin to dry things out across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I actually think we're going to get to enjoy a fair amount of sunshine, but that drier air is on the backside of a cold front. We're not really going to warm up much Wednesday afternoon. Highs only climbing into the low and mid 70s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Roll Tide! Roll Tide!
The journey for 19 begins this year. This is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and we'll bring all the action to you right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Who wants coffee? Anybody want coffee?
Tom, can you get me off the roll type say?
That tire's tired.
He ain't good looking, but he sure ain't shy. He's a northern bred, southern fed, slick talking guy. Listeners in his posse are the junkyard dogs. The SEC from Tennessee to calling them hogs. From Gainesville up to Lexington to the Tide and Tiger Land. Nobody does it like Thom Abraham.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Testosterone high today.
Yeah, Tom's a man, he's got the plan, he's really got it made. What a wife he's got, she's smoking hot, check out the junkyard babe. When everything is said and done, no one can beat his show. He's a high-tech redneck, Tony Soprano. If you love sports without the fluff, he's got the master plan. Cause nobody does it like Thom Abraham, yeah.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Is Hump Day in the doghouse, and you know what Hump Day in the doghouse means? It means we got to break out our camel. Where's the camel?
It must be Wednesday. I called it Hump Day.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is?
Hump Day.
Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! Hey, whoa. Hump Day in the doghouse. Good morning, everyone. Phone lines are open. Feel free to jump in if you'd like. 256-576-4977. You can also text the show at 7329-TA-SHOW. That's 732-982-7469. Great way to communicate with us. My Twitter feed is at Thom Abraham Show, while the station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. Both have all kinds of fun things for you. We are also on the Twitch and on the Facebook at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there. You can watch it on the YouTube. If you were watching it there, you will see my beautiful Huntsville Havoc mug. I don't know from what year this is, but I'm drinking some green tea out of a Huntsville Havoc mug. You know, opening night is coming up October the 15th. It's only like 3 weeks away, opening night for the Havoc. And there you go. I got my Huntsville Havoc mug that I'm rolling out here today and using that. And you would also see that Chad has a jacket on because it's fall. I mean, fall happened, right? Today's the first day of fall, which is a tremendous time. It's one of the reasons why September is the greatest month of the year. Because it's fall. September. It's just September. But it's fall, and I'll be damned if we didn't wake up to fall. I mean, I'm seeing 69, 70 degrees for a high today. It's glorious. Now, you know what's going to happen. It's going to get nasty at some particular point in time. I mean, it's going to get hot again, nasty hot again at some particular point in time. But I'm sitting here right now. They're calling for a high of 69 tomorrow here in the Valley. 72 and sunny. How glorious is that? Friday, 49 degrees for high school football Friday night. 49! Now, that'll be in the middle of the night, but it'll be cool. I mean, you'll be wearing hoodies and stuff at the games. And then the next, couple of weeks, every day. I mean, stop me if I'm lying. There it is. If you're looking at it, you can see it on the TV. Every day, 72 for a high, 49 for a low. 74, 50, 76, 54, 78, 56. 77, 57. And look at the sunshine. I mean, look at that. There's sun every day for the next couple of weeks. For the most part, sunshine. I always tell people, they say, why do you love the Tennessee Valley so much? I said, the reason I love the Valley so much is we get seasons, but we get this long, extended spring and this long, extended fall. Yes, it's kind of gloomy in the winter. You might even get a little bit of snow, which I don't mind a little bit of snow, a little bit. Hey, look, it snowed. We got 4 inches. I go away. But we get this long, and really, was this summer brutal? Oh, yeah, but the heat. Was it brutal? I don't know. We just used to it. I don't think it was brutal. We had some heat index days that were 102, 100. But it wasn't brutal. I think it's the best weather in the country. My daughter lives in San Diego, and she's always telling, San Diego. They got that marine layer, that June gloom, and that. There a lot of. It's not. No, you know what? I love our weather. I love our area of the country. Absolutely love it. Make sure that you get the app so you can get Zone 2, Zone 3. Who knows how many zones we'll have. Get that app, though. All our alternate streaming channels are there for you as well. Madison Academy is off this week. Next up for them will be a huge game against Randolph on October 1st. Randolph is 5-0 for the first time ever. And this week, we're going to have the Randolph Westbrook Christian game for you with Steve Moulton and Austin Coletti on the game. Now, this was my idea. I rolled it out yesterday in a meeting. I told them, look, you guys do what you want to do. But back in the 60s, they would put radio TV, they would put TV crews together from different games that covered the NFL. So you would have, like, if the Packers were playing the Bears, you'd have the Packer announcer and the Bear announcer on the game. And one play-by-play guy would do the first half, and the other guy would do the second half, and the other guy would serve as the analyst. I told him, I said, why don't you guys do that? Have Steve do the first half and have Austin do the second half, and they can serve as each other's color guys. I thought it would be cool. Whether they do it or not, I don't know. They think I'm, these guys, they think I'm nuts. But that game will be on air and online on our primary stream. Now, Huntsville High is also off this week. They return next Thursday night for a game that we will have on the air and a primary stream with Austin Coletti and Judy Armand. So next Thursday, Huntsville High on the air and on primary. And Friday, Mad Academy and Randolph on air. And now there's no guarantee that Madison Academy or that Randolph will still be unbeaten. I mean, they're playing a team in Westbrook Christian that beat them last year, like 21-14 or something, at Randolph. But Randolph, if we were putting a line on that game, Randolph's got to be a favorite in that game. So go get them, Randolph. Come on, Raiders. I want to see the Raiders win that game. I want to set up a huge, 5-1. What's Mad Academy? 4-1? 4-1 versus 6-0. I want 4-1 versus 6-0 in that game next week. Coming up in a few minutes, Vince Ferrara, longtime friend from the Sports Animal in Knoxville, is in. Look, as far as to me, there are 3 compelling games in the SEC this week. 3. None of them involve Alabama playing Southern Miss or Auburn playing. Who the hell is Auburn playing? They got like Georgia State or something like that. Yeah, Georgia State. They're not on the compelling list. The games that are compelling to me, of course, the number one game, obviously, is the Arkansas-Texas A&M game. What a measuring stick game for each of those, especially as the Aggies try to live with Zach Calzada at quarterback. The LSU at Mississippi State game is the 3rd most interesting game. I know I think it's 11 o'clock game. But if LSU is going to be a thing again, they need to walk into Starkville and just beat the brakes off of State, who's coming off that loss to Memphis. I mean, don't they? At some particular point in time, if LSU thinks that there's something, if they think that they are going to be some kind of a contender in some particular way, shape, or form, they need to walk in there With all that noise.
Yeah, all those songs they play, all that stuff they play. We got cowbells. Nobody's going to have cowbells, but we're going to have it on the Doug does a great job.
All of them songs they play, all of them songs they play. Cowbell. But Doug does a great job. I mean, he just goes random thought to random thought to random thought. All them songs that they play. They got them songs that they play in the cowbell. They got the cowbell. And the Doug does a great job. And they'll go in there against that Mike Leach team.
There's not a lot I can do differently. There's not a lot I can do differently.
Let me just repeat myself.
I clearly have some thoughts. I just...
Candy corn. It's the worst ever. Hate candy corn.
Do you have an opinion?
I've never liked candy. I think it's just awful.
It's just awful. Candy corn. Golf. Bad game. Golf. Why do you chase that little ball?
Because it's boring, because I don't care where that ball goes. Everybody says, well, we'll go talk about something on the golf course. You don't talk about nothing. Here's what you talk about. You say, they'll describe something that, they're going to do with a club and a ball that you can't do with a sniper rifle and a scope.
Can't do that with a sniper rifle and a scope. That was not on the script. I just want you to know. That's nowhere on the rundown. All right, so that's the third most compelling game. Between those two games is the Tennessee at Florida game. Tennessee is going in there and getting 19.5, 20 points, like they're Middle Tennessee or they're Eastern Tennessee or something. I don't know. No one is predicting the upset, but remember, Alabama went in there as a 14.5-point favorite last week and barely survived. So was that a one-off for Florida? Does Florida, is there a hangover? Or do they just hammer the Vols this week? Or does Florida play well, but the Vols hang in there, indicating that maybe something good may be happening on the hill after all? I mean, part of the intrigue for this game is that both teams' quarterback situations. At Tennessee, Joe Milton missed last week and is said to be practicing. He's still listed as 1 on the depth chart. I checked their depth chart this morning. He's still listed as number 1 on their depth chart. The question is why? Hendon Hooker has looked better and should be in there whether Milton is healthy or not. Hooker had now look, I know it was Tennessee Tech, but Hooker looked better in his cupcake game than Milton had looked in his cupcake game. They both played against Pitt, and Hendon Hooker played better against Pitt, who maybe isn't all that we thought if they lost to Western Michigan. Hendon Hooker should be the quarterback, in my opinion. And at Florida, Anthony Richardson has been a star off the bench, but he was not available last week, and Emory Jones turned in the best performance of his life. So what now? These questions may all play themselves out Saturday night on ESPN. At the top of the 11, we have a Caray's Corner with Josh Caray of the Trash Pandas. Rocket City's season is over, but the MLB races are not. Josh is a baseball seamhead aficionado. Braves won again last night in Arizona, winning the games they must win. Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, Jorge Solar all hit bombs in the 6-1 win. And what I like about the Braves, think about it. For Austin Riley, I think it was 30. How many does Freddie have? 34, 35, something like that. 30 for Riley. I think it was 29 for Soler. it was 29 for Albies and maybe 25 for Soler, something like that. They're getting balanced power. It's not like you got two guys that are hitting 50 and nobody else can hit the ball. How many does Dansby Swanson have? He's got 20 home runs or what? Where's Dansby Swanson on that home run list? Grizz will tell me. But The Braves are holding on to a 3-game lead over Philly at 79 and 70. 13 games to go in the regular season. That's it. 13 games. And that Giants-Dodgers race out west is out of control. Giants lead by 1. These are the 2 best teams in baseball, and it isn't close. The third-place team, who is in the wild card race, the San Diego Padres, is 20 and a half games back of the Giants. 20 and a half. I mean, the Giants and the Dodgers, they're both like 650 winning percentage. And the Braves are at the Giants this weekend. Pretty sure that's true. I might have just made that up. American League divisions are basically over. Tampa, Chicago, and Houston will win the divisions. But the wild card is nuts. 5 teams battling for 2 spots, all within 3 games. Yankees are 2 back of Boston and 1 back of Toronto. And beginning Friday, they play 3 in Boston and then 3 in Toronto. Are you kidding me? Look, I know what we are. I know we're all about the football now. I get that. Goodness gracious almighty. There's too much going on. I mean, you got the Ryder Cup this weekend. I mean, I want to watch a little bit of the Ryder Cup. At least I watch that in the morning. Like Friday all day, I watch the Ryder Cup. I have the Ryder Cup on Friday all day. But you got the baseball races. How are we going to watch any of this baseball? I got all the football to watch Saturday and Sunday. When am I going to watch the Ryder Cup? And not to mention, well, something that you guys don't pay attention to. But, Bassmaster. The Bassmaster will be on Saturday morning. I'll watch that at dark 30 in the morning. Just let it record, and I'll watch it on the recording at some point in time. Sometime during the week, next week, I'll have to catch up. It's crazy. Good note that I saw on the Twitter machine. Let me hold that. I want to hold that for a second. Let me get Grizz in here. He's over there playing the Play Doesn't Matter in the stacks of wax, hanging out. You know what? I bet he's still paying a little bit of attention to baseball.
Do you know who I am? Who in the blue hell are you? I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and pollen.
I'm telling you, there's an embarrassing press conference in that kid's future.
You don't ever say that to me. Bullcrap.
There won't be any misinformation. There won't be any false statements. There won't be any hearsay.
How come there ain't no Puerto Ricans on Star Trek?
When you ask me those kind of questions, it really pisses me off.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
You ask a question every week that I don't know anything about.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
You do what everybody else in media does, just create some and throw it on the wall and see what sticks.
I ain't gonna be buried. I want a taxidermist to stuff me.
Say hello to my little friend. Hey, yo.
I am not wearing a hoodie yet. Grizz is wearing a little light jacket. I'm not wearing a hoodie yet. It's a little bit warm in the studio on my side of the glass, so I'm not wearing a hoodie yet. But, Grizz, you're paying a little bit of attention. This is like Tuesday, Wednesday. This is when we pay attention to baseball because we got football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Right, and, we didn't even really talk about Eddie Rosario's cycle that he hit. I mean, he hit a cycle.
Second one this year. Not his second, right, but...
Yeah, the second one by the Braves, right.
By the Braves. Now, that's the first one for Eddie, though, right?
Right, and it was...
Freeman has 2.
It was on 5 pitches. 5 total pitches.
He almost had a natural cycle.
I mean, literally, he hit a double on he hit a double. It was 0-1 in the second. His first pitch was a triple in the 5th. His first pitch homer in the 7th and a first pitch single in the 9th. So, I mean, just crazy to think that only on 5 pitches this man almost hit a cycle, literally on the number of, pitches that it would take to have a cycle. And it's just awesome to see the Braves just continue to win because you need to beat these terrible, pitiful Diamondbacks in this 4-game set. And then, and you take 2 already, and then you've got the Padres next. And that's never, ever an easy win, no matter how you see it.
I thought it was the Giants and then the Padres.
I believe it's the Padres.
So I might be backwards then. I told you, sometimes I just make stuff up.
Let's see. Yep, Diamondbacks, Padres, at Padres. Then they got the Phillies and Mets. Those are the last 4 series.
No. They got to play the Giants at the Giants, don't they?
That happened, I think, already. That was last week. Yep, that was the Rosario cycle.
So they don't play that. They don't have to play the.
Nope, they have the Phillies and the Mets though, which that can be. That could be hit or miss. But like I said at the beginning of this season. This happened exactly to the Braves last year. Now they were a little bit, they were way more consistent at the end of the year, winning the division and everything like that.
Right.
But this year, it's a little closer. And it started the same way it did last year, where the Braves got swept by the Phillies, and everyone thought the Braves were gonna, lose the East again. And down the stretch right now, if they can take the 4-game set from the Diamondbacks, and then maybe take 2, from the Padres, I think it would.
I think if they can take, honestly, I think realistically, I think if they can take one more from the Diamondbacks, honestly, I think if they take one more from the Diamondbacks. And even if they win one of the 3 against San Diego, if they do that, then they've got the 3 at home against Philly and 3 at home against New York. Because it's not like Philly's going to keep winning every game. Maybe Philly's playing the Giants. Somebody's playing the Giants. So I think they'd be okay. I wouldn't put the pressure on them to have to sweep the Diamondbacks.
Right.
It would be nice.
But here's the thing, though. In the Padres series on Friday, they have to do a doubleheader because of the game that was suspended on July 21st, where the Braves were down a run. Right. They still have to complete that game, and then they have to play the regular game at 10:10, which is wow.
Which will also be on ESPN TV, and of course we won't have it on our air because we'll have the scoreboard show. Right. But if the game is at 10:10, which is 9:10, it probably won't be over. You guys need to throw scores out there probably during the scores while you're doing the scores.
Give the Braves
and by the way,
updates.
the Braves are this,
Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. Even though we're talking football.
Well, you can throw scores in there.
I know.
Sports Center. What I wish is that, and this is just behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I'll pull back the curtain a moment here. I wish the Braves would allow us to stream, because then we would put the Braves on an alternate stream.
Yeah.
And they don't allow us to stream. See,
MLB
baseball is
TV,
like the last
radio.
thing. Yeah, they're the last thing to allow people to stream. Like, we can stream Alabama, we can stream Army, we can stream everything else, but for whatever reason, baseball still does not allow you to even what they call geofence stream. We can't even stream baseball in our market. Because if we could, then we would just have baseball. We would have the game on Zone 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people they're hung up on a terrestrial signal, and the terrestrial signal is very, very important. But we're heading, they used to say when cable TV came out that nobody's going to watch it. You just watch it on over the air. Now everybody's got cable. Well, streaming audio is a thing, big time. There are many hundreds of people listening to this show right now or watching it on a stream, some sort of electronic stream.
Yeah.
And so we now have all of these channels. Zone 2, Zone 3, going to be a Zone 4. We could have as many as 5 channels and be putting different programming on. But the Braves will not allow us to put their programming on one of our streams.
Well,
or you could sit there and listen to it. You could be at a football game listening to the Braves on the stream.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's never I don't think it's ever going to change because the MLB makes so much money off of it.
It'll change.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say that because even in Atlanta, you can't even listen to, what is it, 680 The Fan? And
I'll tell you why it's going to change.
They're right there.
Let me tell you why it's going to change.
Yeah.
We pay money to have the Braves on here.
Right.
Okay. In Atlanta, the station that has the Braves on there, the Cumulus station that has the Braves on there, pays a fortune. When they start saying we are not paying if we can't stream it, then they won't be able to do it anymore. Now, I will say this. I believe that 680 The Fan in Atlanta is allowed to stream it in Atlanta only. I do believe that that's true. But I think that will change at some particular point in time. But you know what we'll do is we'll ask Josh Caray about that a little bit later on. Let's get a break in here. I want to talk some college football with Vince Ferrara, and we'll do that next right here. It's the Thom Abraham Show with Grizz Mixon, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Tomorrow, Thursday Night Football, the Carolina Panthers at home against the Houston Texans. Carolina an 8-point road favorite, the over-under 43. On Sunday, the Falcons at the Giants. Atlanta a 3-point road underdog, the over-under 48. Baseball, the Braves and Diamondbacks tonight. Atlanta minus 175 on the money line. Arizona at plus 165, the over-under 9. Ian Anderson getting the start against Merrill Kelly. After being postponed, the trilogy fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder will take place on October 9th. Fury, who won the last fight between the two back in February 2020, comes in the favorite at minus 325, Wilder at plus 230.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
TOC Sports has been there for you. Now, you're probably asking yourself, what does that mean? It means for more than 20 years, Alabama's largest orthopedic group has been there providing coverage and care to more schools and student athletes in the Tennessee Valley than any other group. It means whether you are the star football player, the all-region volleyball ace, or someone who hurt their knee in a weekend pickup basketball game, TOC Sports physicians are proud to have the opportunity to care for all your orthopedic needs. It means for parents, coaches, athletes, desk jockeys, or even weekend warriors, TOC Sports physicians continue to meet and exceed the orthopedic and sports medicine needs of our community. But most importantly, during these challenging times, we're here for you now, and will continue to be here. So as long as there are players on the field, games to be played, and contests to be won, the orthopedic specialists from TOC Sports will be ready to help. We don't know what the future holds, but you can count on the TOC Sports team to stay committed to you, so you can stay in the game. Call 256-539-2728 today and ask to see a TOC Sports physician. Check them out online, also Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Guys, when we were 20, we never had to worry about spontaneity. And now that we've gotten older, spontaneity has been replaced with pills and injections. We're just trying to keep that intimacy, but it's taken away from spontaneity. At Advanced Life Clinic, we now offer GainsWave, which uses sound waves to non-invasively treat this issue with no need for pills or injections. Just give us a call, 256-888-9367, or check us out online, advancedlifeclinic.com.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day-age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Maybe the air doesn't blow like it should, or it's needing new tires, or you're just ready for something newer. It's time to move up, time to trade up. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, and it's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your current car or truck is worth more than you know. In fact, we'll buy your vehicle even if you don't trade. We have nearly 100 Ford Blue Advantage certified pre-owned models to choose from. Our Ford Gold certified or low mileage, gently used vehicles with great warranties. They've passed a 172-point inspection by certified technicians, come with a 24-hour roadside assistance, plus a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. It's the perfect time to trade in and trade up because your vehicle is worth more right now at Woody Anderson Ford. Corner of Jordan Lane and Sparkman Drive. Hope to see you soon.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're going to hold on to the opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms at least through the first half of the day. Then it looks like we're going to begin to dry things out across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I actually think we're going to get to enjoy a fair amount of sunshine, but that drier air is on the backside of a cold front. We're not really going to warm up much Wednesday afternoon. Highs only climbing into the low and mid 70s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Paul Feinbaum. Listen to me coming up today at 2. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
And welcome back. Thom Abraham Show. Remembered I had the weirdest dream last night. I was out with I was doing a rehearsal dinner for one of my kids that are getting married next summer, my son, so I got to do the rehearsal dinner, right? So we were out at the rehearsal dinner, and Nick Saban was in the restaurant, and he saw me, and he gave me his gold credit card to pay for the entire rehearsal dinner. I mean, think about that. How crazy is that?
Was this at Baumhauer's?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You didn't meet him at Baumhauer's after a show or something?
It wasn't at Baumhauer's. and I, you know what I did right before I went to bed last night? I watched the Saban thing on A Football Life, and
yeah,
that must have been why I had Saban on my mind. I don't know. Vince Ferrara joins us now. Vince, have you ever had Nick Saban pick up your meal at a restaurant?
No, although I did do when I was in Alabama, did do the coach to coach where I sat by him and did that media thing with him. He didn't buy me anything during that, but clearly, if somebody was like jumping in mid-story, they probably think that he actually did that rather than you saying that you had the dream.
Yeah, I mean it was so weird, and and it just all of a sudden it occurred to me. And he broke out this gold card, and he says, "Here, use my gold card and pay for the entire dinner." And it was like, and I wasn't sure if he meant my dinner. And then I woke up because I wasn't sure if he meant my dinner or if he meant the dinner for the entire group. You know what I mean? But I used his card to pay for the entire dinner.
Tom, he won't notice the difference. Just do it for the whole group. He wouldn't notice. Yeah. Yeah,
I figured he would not notice the difference. So that was the way. That was the way I went with it. So. I'm sitting here and I'm hearing these stories about how Joe Milton is practicing and what's going on there and so on. Let's say he's 100%. He's still a backup. I mean, hasn't Hendon Hooker played better not only in the cupcake games but also, of course, in the Pittsburgh game where he came in the second half? I mean, to me, Hendon Hooker should be the starter one way or the other. No, what am I missing?
To me, yes, but I think this coaching staff still believes in Joe Milton, and I think what it depends on, you mentioned if Joe Milton is 100%, what it depends on is how much Joe Milton is practicing this week at 100%. Because if he's still limited and practice is closed, so we'll find out as the week goes on more about how much he's been practicing. But if he's not practicing 100% and say he's cleared Friday and then he's 100%, I don't see how you can start him. Now, if he's able to do everything, which Heupel didn't tell us yesterday when we talked to him, or Monday, he didn't tell us he was 100% yet. He said we got to see as the week goes on. But if he's practicing all week, then I think there's a chance they go back to him. And here's the thing. I think it'll be Hendon Hooker, but because he has earned it, like you mentioned. But I don't think his leash is going to be really long, especially if at some point Milton is cleared to play 100%, even if he doesn't start, because of the turnovers. Hooker has turned the ball over in each of the game other than the cleanup against Bowling Green. And those things count and have a greater value than the overthrows by Milton Deep, which is what everyone has been focusing on. And he's missed other receivers, too. I don't think he's seen the field great. just kind of locked in on his receivers. But Hooker has done a better job in all other phases. But it's not a one-for-one swap. If you turn the ball over, that cancels out a lot more good things than missing deep shots. So that's why I think it will be Hooker, but if Milton is 100%, I think he's more of a factor to come in quicker, more so than starting.
Milton has more eligibility left, is that correct? Hooker's
3
just got the year.
Yes.
Yeah. So I wonder if that factors into it, because if you're Josh Heupel, part of this has to be, okay, I can bust a hump here to try and win 6 games, 7 games. How important is that compared to what I need to do to have this thing viable in a couple of years?
Well, I think he's trying to win right now, to be honest with you. I think it's something that coaches have to think about, all those things, but I don't know that they're making those decisions right now. I think Josh Heupel is trying to win now because you're not going to get a super long leash, NCAA stuff or not, and he needs to show progress this year, and not necessarily competing for the East, but at least I think get to 500 and show that, hey, we're taking those right steps, help him in recruiting, which has been lagging behind, and I think results is a big part of that. So I think he's trying to win games with all that stuff kind of in the back of your mind, but I don't think he's totally looking to the future. He hasn't talked or operated, none of these coaches have, like guys that know, hey, this year is just kind of a building block for next year. They brought in too many guys in the transfer portal for them to take that approach. I don't think you're afforded that kind of look ahead to the future type of thing, even at that QB position, which you have to be more sensitive to those kind of things. I don't think he's looking at that. I think he wants to win games, and they just believed in Milton a little bit more. And one thing real quick, Tom, on Hooker. Hooker has the most experience as a starting quarterback on the road, more so than either Milton or Harrison Bailey. Harrison Bailey just has the one start at Vanderbilt last year. He played well.
Right. And
Hooker has started 6 career games on the road out of 28 career games played in 16 starts, 3-3, 60% completion percentage, 220 yards per game, 8 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, rushed for 58 yards per game, and run for 7 touchdowns. So there's some up and down, nothing like the scene he's going to have in Florida. But in terms of guys that have been in more hostile environments, it is Hendon Hooker has the most experience in those kind of settings.
I'm old enough to still feel like this is a rivalry thing, but I do remember when Urban Meyer uttered those words, the painful words that, for it to be a rivalry, doesn't the other team have to win once in a while? And, right. The record shows that Tennessee has only won this game 4 times since the turn of the century. They've won it once since 2005. That was back in 2016. You wonder about the mindset of Florida after coming off of a near miss against Alabama. Do you think that emboldens them, or do you think that has them, their daubers down a little bit? You wonder how Florida is going to come out in this game.
Absolutely. There's a lot involved. I think that's more of a factor in this game, more so than maybe the history for Tennessee. Tennessee, Tom, has played 46 guys making their Tennessee debut this year. So those guys, whether they're the 20 freshmen or true freshmen in redshirt or all the other new players or guys that have been around the program that hadn't been on the field before, that's a lot of news. So I don't know that the history really carries as much weight for them. But as part of that, they haven't won in Gainesville since 2003. It's the last time Tennessee won in Gainesville. So it has been quite the drought. But I do think the bigger factor, like I mentioned, is what is Florida coming off of Alabama? Where are they mentally, and is there a letdown? Do they think that they're so good now that they've arrived because they went toe-to-toe with the best team in the country that maybe they're not as dialed in this game? There was so much hype about that game that there could be a natural letdown. And then, as you know, Tom, teams playing the week after playing Alabama, a lot of times aren't as physically good the next week. It's not 100%, but there's plenty of examples of teams being pretty beat up the week after playing Alabama. So those would be some things to kind of look at for sure. It's hard to say. I mean, people that cover Florida on a daily basis don't know what kind of reaction they're going to get. So it'd be purely a guess and speculation on my part to say one way or the other.
Florida will be a 20-point favorite in this game, likely. What from a Tennessee standpoint, what are you looking for? What gives Tennessee a nice vibe coming out of this game in terms of being competitive or being mistake-free in terms of how they play the game?
Well, that number's pretty big, right? I mean, I've seen it as high. I think Circa may have had it at 22 at one point. Mm-hmm. That's a big number. I think Florida will win comfortably, but that's still an awful big number. Now, how does Tennessee be competitive in this game? They have to play their best game so far. They cannot play like they've played in any of the first three games. Now, you could say that about Florida going into the Alabama game, and they played their best game against the best team. So it's possible. And this team still, because they've had so much in and out with all the competition at quarterback leading up to the start of the season, and they've had three different quarterbacks play so far in three games, that quarterback to receiver chemistry isn't fully there yet. So that's something that you expect to get better at some point. And look, if you hit some deep shots that you missed earlier in the year, maybe looking at this team a little bit different with maybe a 3-0 record and feeling better about the offense. So I think they have some potential to come together and play their best game. Another thing that would be a positive for them is I think they're going to be as healthy as they have been all season in this game. They held a long list of guys out in that Tennessee Tech game. They didn't need a lot of them, and so they smartly held them back. The key guys on the offensive line, like their center Cooper Mays, who makes a big difference for them at center because then they move their right guard and left guard and Jerome Carvin over to center. Now you're impacting two positions, sometimes three, because they've had a revolving door at guard as well. Plus, Cade Mays went down in the Tennessee Tech game as well. If he comes back, now you have a chance to have your starting offensive line for the first time since early in that Pitt game, and then you can improve from that standpoint. Another thing is that they should get all their running backs back in Evans and Small, their top two backs. Small maybe a little bit more in question, but Evans came back a little bit last week. He wasn't full go, it didn't look like. But if they get all those guys going with Jalen Wright, the freshman, then maybe they can run the ball a little bit better. And they've been banged up on the other side of the ball as well. So there's just a lot of guys that they could have back to see with this team that doesn't have a whole lot of depth what they look like with their best 22 on the field. So I think that could give Tennessee a chance to maybe play better than what we've seen them to this point.
Vince Ferrara with us here talking a little Tennessee football. He, of course, is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And, Vince, you were there for, Shula in Tuscaloosa. Yeah. You saw Saban in Tuscaloosa, and then the plethora of coaches from Dooley to, Butch to, Pruitt, and the list goes on and on at Tennessee. Your impressions here, the first quarter of the season, it's one thing when it's the summer and the introductory and so on. Your impressions of Josh Heupel as you watch this from a Tennessee standpoint, do you see things that would make you feel hopeful? I mean, Tennessee fans were hopeful about Butch Jones, and he had some great recruiting classes, but there were issues, right. And they thought that Dooley, and then we had the Rommel speech, and who knows what the hell's going on. Pruitt was going to be the guy, but are you seeing anything out of Josh Heupel that you could pass along to a Tennessee fan to say, maybe this is the guy?
As far as the positives, there are some things. I think he is connected with this team where they're fighting for him. They're playing hard for him. And there were times when you were watching Tennessee's teams under Jeremy Pruitt where that didn't look to be the case. And Pruitt basically said that wasn't the case at the end of his first year. Now, he had something to do with that. at the end of the first year, he admitted to our Jimmy Himes that, I probably didn't spend enough time on building relationships with these guys. I was thinking about other things, and so
never been a strength of his. Anybody that knows him going back to Florida State, he was building relationships with other coaches' wives, and then you go to other jobs that he's had. He's never been a people person. Let's be honest, Jeremy Pruitt.
Well, and then so you do that for the first year. You're not worrying about those kind of things, and then you decide in year 2 that you want to work on relationships. Well, some people might be open-minded enough to let you in, but then other people are like, yeah, whatever, this isn't sincere. Get away from me. And remember, you were there when SEC Media Days was in Atlanta and Pruitt was coming in. Remember Aaron Murray? He kind of made some waves by saying, I don't think Pruitt's the guy, man. The relationships, the way he treated Mark Richt, I don't know about that hire. And a lot of people were like, wow, who is he? Well, he was at the Knoxville Quarterback Club on Monday, and he kind of brought that up. He's like, hey, remember, people didn't like it when I questioned Jeremy Pruitt. And so, that played out. So, but yeah, you have to give yourself at least a chance by showing the players that you care about them as people, and then they'll fight for you in tough times. And I think the one thing you can say about this Tennessee team is they have played hard, and they have enjoyed being coached by this coaching staff. Doesn't guarantee you wins, but at least it gives you some sort of puncher's chance if you have that base. So that's a positive. Another thing is, I think, and this is a long-term thing, is he is doing a lot of the legwork in recruiting in-state. Where I do high school football play-by-play each week, and I talk to all the coaches, and I try to ask as many of them as I can, and all of them say, yeah, we hear from Tennessee. We don't have players for him right now, but he came by, and he and the staff check in with us, and that's smart. That's something that Saban did after Shula. Is you make relationships with all the coaches, so when you need a player 4 years down the road, they believe in you, and you have that relationship, as opposed to just coming around only when you need somebody. And so that's something that he is doing a better job of, I know for a fact, but that's not going to pay off until down the road. And I do think that because they are improved offensively, and they at least have a pulse offensively, gives them a fighting chance in today's college football. So there are some positives. He's become a little bit more reserved and more generic in the questioning. So I wonder, all right, is he already starting to feel that, hey, this is, I got to fall into this and not give away this edge? And he was really open to us until we got close to the start of the season, and now in the season, and now he's not giving out quite as much information. So we'll see if that's an indication that, maybe he's starting to know that, hey, this is quite the pressure cooker. We'll see. I don't know for sure, but that's kind of something to keep an eye on, even though he's not like paranoid by any means like a Pruitt or a lot of other guys are.
Yeah, and he needs to keep the best kids in Tennessee at Tennessee. He's got to. I don't buy the. I've heard this for years and years about how there's no. The Tennessee high school football doesn't produce a lot of great players. Let me tell you something. There are some, and the ones that can't be going to Alabama and Georgia and Clemson. They need to stay put. And, and I think he needs to deal with that first of all, first and foremost. I used to hear that, and then all of a sudden Golden Tate would go to Notre Dame, and, Hightower would go, from Pulaski down to Alabama. There are players in state. Yeah, there are kids in state. You need to keep those kids in state, for his sake. Vince Ferrara has been our guest. Vince, I appreciate it, man. Always good to have you.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the games this weekend. Thanks for having me, Tom.
Thank you.
Yep.
Vince Ferrara. All right. Let's grab a break. We will come back, set you up for hour number 2 next, right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Everybody knows the fun begins when you get to the end zone, where you can enjoy half-price apps every Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, half-price burgers every Tuesday, plus late-night pizza specials and a spectacular menu that includes jumbo wings, half-pound burgers, Tex-Mex, and an incredible selection of craft beer, and plenty of big-screen TVs. It's all happening at the end zone, 1851 University Drive, 2030 Cecil Ashburn at Jones Valley Station, and coming in early 2022, Mid-City End Zone at 1115 McMurtry next to the Target Shopping Center.
Sitting here with Ann Adams of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Rise Real Estate. Is it a good time to sell your home, Ann?
Yes, it is. We have people relocating from all over the country.
Why should we choose Rise Real Estate?
Well, we've been selling real estate in North Alabama for 36 years and have sold more real estate than any other real estate company, period.
Do you help your customers through the entire process?
Yes, our agents are with you during the whole process from start to finish, from beginning to end.
In your relocation services, you have a whole team.
Yes, we have a dedicated relocation department helping customers move seamlessly into the area.
Ann Adams has been writing contracts for the last 36 years. She has the experience to help you list and sell your home, downsize your home, or help pick the perfect spot north of Alabama for you to build a future.
Call Ann Adams at 256-337-2625 or on the web at www.bhhsriserealestate.com.
Taco Bell presents a get-out-of-bedtime story. It's time to wake up from this amazing dream, even though you're jet skiing on lemonade. How extreme! And oh, look at that, you just won the lottery. Is that a castle? Take the keys, it's your property. What's better than swimming in space? Just wait for the big reveal. It's Taco Bell breakfast and it's actually real. So it's time to wake up and bid your dreams farewell, because toasted breakfast burritos are waiting for you, only at Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell locations near you during breakfast hours only.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for Woody Anderson Ford. When I was in the Tennessee Valley, one of the things that impressed me the most was the quality of the people. People like Bobby White and his team at Woody Anderson Ford. And now you can experience the tremendous new service lanes and showroom at Woody Anderson Ford, at Jordan and Sparkman, or just stop by for breakfast or lunch at Henry's Mustang Cafe. And in Madison, visit Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, just south of 72. Like a great college football tradition, always there, Woody Anderson Ford.
Take your taste buds back in time with a trip to the all-new Bubby's Diner, offering a variety of mouth-watering food from delicious starters to 50-style diner food and meat-and-free meals, featuring owner and Huntsville native Chris Bubby Belcher's family's homemade recipes. Open Monday through Saturday for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at 8412 Whitesburg Drive in the former Gibson's Barbecue. Drive-in, drive-through, carry-out, or curbside pickup with delivery coming soon through Grub South. Bubby's Diner, home of the Donut Burger.
Somewhere between heaven and the tall pine trees. Hard land, I'm missing you.
Segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage are ready to make your mortgage needs come through, whether that's a refi or you're looking at a new purchase. It is a great time to be looking at homes. It would be a great time also to be refinancing your house, whether you want a conventional, a VA, a FHA, or a USDA loan. They can do it all down there at North Alabama Mortgage. I mean, just think about the things that you would possibly do with some of that money that's buried in your house. You know, people got to think straight, you know, when it comes to this kind of stuff. You're paying, you know, even a good credit card is 13%, 14%, something like that. You go to a bank and you try to get just a home improvement loan at 7 or 8%. You got money buried in your home that you can borrow at 2, 3, 4% right now and use that money to pay off a bunch of credit cards or to, you know, do a home renovation or project that you want to do, you know, something major that you want to do, college expenses, things like that. I mean, there is cheap money in your home, and your home value is higher than it has been in a long, long time. So go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com and get the process started. By the way, talk to them about VA loans as well, because they do a great job for our veterans as well. All right, I mentioned this. We got coming up at the top of the hour. We're going to do a little baseball, a little midweek baseball update. A little midweek baseball update, because there are some great races that are going on, one of which is including the Atlanta Braves and we're going to talk to Josh Caray about that. But I mentioned a note that I saw on the Twitter machine today. Zach Wilson, get this, Grizz. Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence have as many interceptions in 2 games as Tua Tagovailoa through all of last season. Yet I don't see anybody getting their nose all out of joint saying that the Jets and the Jags should be in the QB market for next year. I don't know if it's an anti-Tua thing or if it's an anti-Alabama thing. They look for a chance to take a shot.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but these 2 guys in their first 2 games have thrown more interceptions than Tagovailoa threw all of last season with the Dolphins. Nobody's like, oh my God, busts!
Mac Jones, bust. Mac Jones right now, bust. One of the best rookies right now.
Mac's not a bust. Not a bust. I am not a Zach Wilson fan. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, Carey's Corner with Josh Caray right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Wes Neighbors talking to Chris Haygood of Bob Wallace Appliance. Chris, what sets you apart from other appliance dealerships?
Wes, these appliances are going into the most used room in your house, your kitchen. The way we have these appliances displayed, it's easy for you to visualize how they'll look in your home. Wes, what sets us apart is the people. They're well trained. In fact, they live and breathe these appliances. And if you need service, you'll really appreciate our parts department.
Contact Bob Wallace Appliance at 256-533-2121.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Hi everybody, Eli Gold here. Right now, indoor air quality occupies top-of-mind awareness for families and business owners. Rick Smith and the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems can take care of your indoor air quality concerns with their state-of-the-art indoor air quality solutions. Environmental Comfort's indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of airborne contaminants so you and your family can breathe clean, fresh air. If anyone in your family suffers from allergies, or if you just want the security of knowing the air you breathe inside your home is free from viruses, bacteria, pet dander, dust, and odors, Environmental Comfort Systems are the professionals to call. Environmental Comfort also carries state-of-the-art, high-efficiency comfort systems that increase home comfort, keep humidity in check, and help you save money on your energy bills. Give my friend Rick a call or visit them online at envcomfort.com and breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. 76ers coach Doc Rivers, a guest on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max today. The main topic of discussion, obviously, point guard Ben Simmons, who, as ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reported, will not show up when training camp starts next week and intends to never play for the team again. Rivers says they have time. They hope they can change Simmons' mind. Also said while he thinks Simmons can score way more, what makes him great are the other things he does. His defense, how his athletic speed puts pressure on the other team. When asked if Philadelphia can win an NBA title with Simmons, Rivers' reply, yes. Broncos outside linebacker Bradley Chubb slated for arthroscopic surgery today on his ankle to remove a bone spur. Timeline for his return will be clear after the procedure. Red Sox go for their 7th straight win tonight when they take on the Mets, 7:10 Eastern, ESPN TV. Boston's up a game and a half on Toronto for the top AL wildcard spot.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. Guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Elle McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. Joining you here on a hump day in the doghouse. Glad that you are with us. This segment of the show, our midweek baseball update, if you will, brought to us by the Rocket City Trash Pandas. The Trash Panda season is over, but there's a lot going on in the off-season down there. They got so many different things that are going on. Plus, take advantage now of some great ticket deals and be ready to go. The entire schedule is out for next season, and it'll be expanded now to 138 games, I think. And so it's going to be a great, great season next year as well. And joining us is Josh Caray of the Trash Pandas. Talk some baseball with us for Caray's Corner. Josh, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, partner. How are you? Glad to. I wish we were still playing, but off season is here and just getting ready for 2022.
You guys got a lot of stuff going on down at the stadium, though, in the off season, though, don't you?
Yeah. We still got a lot going on. When we built this, we all said that, hey, this is going to be a year-round venue, and that's what it's going to be. Coming up on this Saturday, we're going to have a Trash Dash, which is our foot race. We'll have a kids fun run. We'll have a 5K, a 10K. Coming up on October 9th, we're going to have a wine and beer fest. We'll have over 40 different samplings that people can taste from. On the 30th, we'll have a trunk or treat, which we had last year. That was a big success. Then we'll have a screening of the Haunted Mansion at 7:15. And then our Christmas show is going to get underway on November 12th. In fact, the trailer that carries all of our Christmas equipment, that arrived today. So we're already starting to get ready for that. So one season just bleeds into another, but we're happy to do it, and we're excited to have that, to provide that for our folks.
Any of the guys that we saw in Huntsville still playing now? I mean, I know you got a couple of them up at the Angels, but what's the update on any of the guys that played well here?
From what I understand, Jansen Junk has pitched okay, and the couple of times he's been up there. I know Reed Detmers, they had to put him on the IL for a little bit. Jose Marte just came off. He has struggled. So has Elvis Figueroa. I'm trying to think also. I know Davis Daniel and the kid Smith, Ryan Smith. They're both at AAA. They're doing pretty well. Cooper Criswell's made a couple of starts. He's been all right. There's really no one if there's anyone who's pitched the best, it's been Kyle Tyler. He's come out of the bullpen several times, and he's done really, really well. But that's been the one positive, I guess, about having a non-playoff team in the Angels, is that you get a look at all these guys firsthand to see just how good they're going to be. And so, that's what the Angels are taking advantage of right now, and a lot of guys are getting a good crack at this.
Talk about the Braves a little bit and the playoff race here, clinging to that 3-game lead. We talk about the importance of when they went out west to do some damage against Arizona. They got one of the 3 games in San Francisco. Could have got 2. I mean, one went extra innings. The first one out there, they lost that one, but they salvaged one of those games. Now they've taken the first 2 games against Arizona. Don't want to put pressure on them that they have to sweep, but I think if they get one of these next 2 and one of the 3 in San Diego, just doing math, it would seem like they would come back with at least a 2 or 3 game lead, and then they get Philadelphia and the Mets in their own house to wrap it up, and they'll have every opportunity to go ahead and sew up this division, which would be the 4th or 5th in a row.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing what you would hope they would do against Arizona, which is beat up on the little guy. Arizona stinks, so go ahead and take advantage of that. What I'm probably more impressed with is the way they did play against San Francisco. Even though they lost 2 of 3, they were very competitive. You're right, they should have won 2 of 3. And when you look at what they did against Los Angeles this year, even though they lost 4 of 6, they were competitive. So you're starting to feel pretty good about things. I really wish they had played better on the previous homestand against the Nationals and the Marlins, and certainly the Rockies. But, San Diego has been really scuffling along. Keep in mind, you still have one suspended game you got to finish up on Friday. So, really, that's going to be a 4-game series when you think about it. So, if you can get 2 of those, you ought to feel pretty good. And, yeah, if you go home, keep in mind the Phillies do play the Orioles tonight, so that should be a win for Philly. So, if you go up 2 or 3, hopefully you can take 2 of 3 from Philadelphia and call it a day and make that Mets series pretty meaningless. But, the guys have been pretty much on target since about late July. They've taken care of the teams that they were supposed to, and that's just the nature of a good team that's doing what it's supposed to do. They've been pretty much on par with who they are as a ball club. You just hope that they can catch fire and really make a game of this in October.
And the interesting thing is I had written them off totally from the wild card side of things. It was like win this division or bust. That is your only shot. But in reality, not that you want to have it come to this, but in reality, they would only be, a game or so, I think, behind the Cardinals right now. Maybe 2 games, no, 1 game in a loss column behind the Cardinals right now in the wild card. So if whatever reason, Philadelphia is able to close that gap, they still kind of are right there. They do have 2 entry points. Again, just get in. But the Cardinals right now, out of control. I mean, they've won 10 straight games. Who saw this coming? And except for the fact that they're the St. Louis Cardinals, and they seem to do this. But now they've put themselves in the playoff. They're in. I mean, they right now with a 4-game lead over the Reds for that final playoff spot. It looks like the Cardinals are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're that team, right? They're that team that you don't hear from them all year, and then all of a sudden you look up in mid-September and there they are. And what's scary is, and let's just put the Braves aside for a second, if you're the Giants or the Dodgers, one of those teams is going to have to play the Cardinals in that 1-game winner-take-all. You better win that division. You better win that West if you're the Dodgers or the Giants, because I don't like the feeling of taking on a hot Cardinal ball club in a winner-take-all ball game. Yeah, you could have Clayton Kershaw if you're out there, if you're the Dodgers, and that's great. But with 1 game on the line, one guy has one bad day, one guy has real good day, suddenly your season is over. That is a scary proposition to be in if you're either the Dodgers or the Giants right now. And those are the 2 best teams by far in the National League. And so that to me is probably going to be the most fascinating finish to the regular season, is what happens in the NL West.
Let's make it the Dodgers. I mean, I want that to happen so bad. I mean, I would love to see the Cardinals knock the Dodgers out 1 game. Just play 1 game. It'll be in L.A. You go out there and knock these guys out. They're playing like 650 baseball. They lose the division to the Giants, which it'll be very interesting to see how it goes down to stretch. The Giants just refuse to lose. But and that race is absolutely amazing. But I don't want it to be. I would love to see the Giants win and the Dodgers have to play the Cardinals, tighten up their sphincter, and let them take all of that payroll and all of those superstars and everything else and get whacked by the Cardinals in one game. That would be glorious.
Yeah, and you know what? When you hear that and when you listen to that, it makes you appreciate, though, what the Braves went through back in the 90s and the early 2000s. I mean, and I get it. Those Atlanta teams were knocked out in 5-game, 7-game series, but it just shows you just how unfair the playoffs can be, not just in baseball, but in any sport, but especially baseball. You can play 6 months of great baseball. You can do everything possible for 6 months, but if you have one bad day or one bad week, suddenly it's all over, and it's completely unfair. Life is unfair, but that's the beauty of October baseball. And that will be primetime television, is whoever gets the Cardinals in that winner-take-all game, assuming that St. Louis does its job and wraps it up on Cincinnati.
One of the things I love about the Braves, and of course, I always relate back to the Yankees because I'm a lifelong Yankee fan. And I remember back when the Yankees were great during that dynasty, the last one, with the 4 out of 6 World Series victories. They didn't have. It was only, I think, when David Justice came over that they even had a 40 home run guy on that team. They had a bunch of guys though that hit 25, 30, 32, 33 home runs. And now that we're in this home run era, I sit there and I look at the Braves. Austin Riley with 30, Freddie with 30, Ozzie Albies 29, Swanson is 26. Ronald Acuna, he was going to have close to 50. He was going to have in the mid-40s. He had 42 in half a season, or 24, I should say, in half a season. But when you look at it, Jorge Soler combined, I think he's around 26 or 7. It can come from anywhere, and that is a winning formula. That's not just like 2 guys who can bop, and then that's it. They've got a bunch of guys who can get the ball out of the yard, which I think is a winning formula if you get some hot pitching.
If you get hot pitching, but I'll take this a step further with the hitting. Yeah, you want guys who can knock it out of the yard and can turn a game on one pitch. That's great. But the great part is the vast majority of those hitters, they can also gap you, and they can also walk you to death. I mean, the on-base percentage from these guys is pretty good as well. So if you're playing in a mausoleum where the ball just doesn't carry for whatever reason, you can still play winning baseball. If I can, take it back here to the Trash Pandas for a moment. We had a team that was just full of home run hitters. We did not have guys who were really adept at getting on base. They didn't draw a lot of walks and things like that. And so if you could prevent the home run ball, you could beat them. Well, the great thing about the Braves is they have guys who can knock the ball out of the park, but they can also draw a walk. They can also move guys along. They can also go gap to gap or down the line. And so when you have guys who are that flexible, then it opens up your offensive game. And let's face it, Atlanta has a good pitching staff, but it's not great. It's not as good as it's been in recent years. You're going to need guys to step it up offensively. You're going to need to win some 6-5, 7-6 type of games if you want to do it in October. And it's good to see those guys coming along, especially when you have, someone like Acuna out.
Josh Caray with us, Caray's Corner, talking some country hardball. Freddie Freeman, I mean, what do you say about this thing? I mean, here he is, the 60-game MVP from last year. Now, if they added in the first 60 games of this year, he wouldn't even have been in a race. He was scuffling like crazy. People thought, well, he had the contract on his mind, all that kind of stuff. And here we are, 13 games left in the season. Freddie's a .301 hitter with 30 bombs, 80 RBIs, and he's just, the back of the trading card is the back of the trading card with him. He does it again. Now you really got to figure out what do you think happens with him going forward? Just such a staple of this whole thing. You don't want to go 6-7 years with him at his age. It'd be nice to somehow get him locked down for 3 or 4 years, though. What do you think? Look at a crystal ball. What's going to happen with Freddie?
Well, I think you've pretty much hit it on the head. You're going to look at 3 or 4 years. But if you do that now, they're going to ask you for a little bit of money as well. I think you probably get more of a discount if you go longer. But we've seen what happens with that. Miggy Cabrera with Detroit, for example, or Albert Pujols in Los Angeles. You don't want to go down that route. So if you're Atlanta, you got to look at the pocketbook and say to yourself, okay, what can we realistically afford for this guy over a 3 or 4 year period? What I'm also going to be interested to see, though, Tom, is what's going to happen with the CBA. Okay, the collective bargaining agreement is going to be slated to end on December 1st. And if I'm both sides, I go ahead and try to lock something in before that expires, because that could turn a lot of things in the air. We've seen a lot of good ball players settle for 1 to 2 year type of deals because they just want to get as much money as possible in the short term and not worry about long-term stability. So if you're Atlanta, if you're Freddie, if you want to stay in Atlanta, and if you want Freddie in Atlanta, you pretty much got to, each side has to come forward a little bit here and go ahead and try to lock something in before December 1. So we look for about a 3 or 4 year deal. But Atlanta's going to have to give in a little bit here and understand that if you want to lock him in, you got to do right by him. And so that's about the length that I'm going to see him stay at. And I think that's about the right length that he's got to hope for. And I would expect it to be around that 4 year range.
Yeah, it just turned 32 a couple of weeks ago. So, that's that fall off that happens after 35, unless you're Barry Bonds and you have assistants. Typically, those guys start falling apart a little bit after 35, 36 years old when you have that. Back to that NL West, the fascination of the NL West. What is a bigger surprise to you? The Giants, still with the best record in baseball and trying to hold off the Dodgers, the Giants, or the fact that the Padres, they're done. I mean, they pretty much have missed the playoffs. They're 5 games back in the card now, and I don't think they can make that up in 13 games. So which is a bigger surprise, the greatness of the Giants or the fact that the Padres, who a lot of people thought would maybe have a record like the Giants, that the Padres did not come through?
Yeah, for me, it was Padres. I really thought they were going to be outstanding with Tatis and Machado and all that pitching they had. And the start they got off to was just so splendid. I thought they were ticketed for postseason ball. The thing about the Giants is, as much as, even though they are a surprise, they've always been right on the edge of being a consistent winner. They won in 10 and 12 and 14. And even when they weren't winning, they were always competitive, so you always knew they were just a guy or two away from pulling ahead. So that didn't really surprise me as much. But to see San Diego fall apart like it has over the last month or so, I'm amazed by that. The one break I will give them is they are still a very young organization. They have a lot of babies on their roster. You see this thing where Tatis and Machado are getting into it in the dugout. So there may be some maturity issues there. And I don't know if that requires a change in leadership. I hope not. I think they got to give that guy at least another year. But, maybe they just need a little bit of growth, a little bit of hair under the chin, if you will, before they take that next step. But I would say that was probably the biggest surprise. I pretty much had San Diego ticketed for October back in April.
A lot of sniping going on over there, which, just ugly. And then finally, the American League wildcard race with the Red Sox a game and a half up on Toronto. Toronto a game ahead of the Yankees in the loss column, and the Mariners and the Oakland Athletics trying to hang on to that thing as they kind of beat each other up. But what a fascinating couple of, a week this is going to be upcoming. The Yankees 3 at the Red Sox and then 3 at the Blue Jays. So this is all, it's kind of like playoffs. I mean, to be honest with you, it's kind of like a little playoff tournament now between the Yankees, Blue Jays, and Red Sox to see who survives to play each other in a one-game playoff. But if you're just a baseball seamhead, not just a Braves fan, if you're just like it's going to be something. 3 at Boston, 3 at Toronto for the Yankees.
And isn't it neat watching a lot of these young stars turn into something like the Vlad Guerrero Juniors of the world? This is the type of stuff that if you're a baseball fan, you just live for it, because it's not just teams, it's big-name teams. It's the Giants, it's the Dodgers, it's the Yankees, it's the Red Sox. And the fact that they're all playing each other makes it all the more exciting. I think the Red Sox and Yankees play each other this weekend. And what's even better is that someone is going to drop out of this that you didn't expect, and it's going to make for some great fodder. I mean, especially on Sports Talk Radio. I would hope that the Yankees fall apart, no offense, and I would love to tune in to stream some of the sports talk out of New York the following Monday. They would just lose their minds with that team because they've played some bad baseball over the last couple of weeks, and they're in trouble. They are in some serious trouble right now. And who would have really thought that the Rays would be the ones running away with the division? This has been about as fun of a year with baseball as I can remember in recent memory, and it's really coming along at a great time, especially after all the turmoil we had last year. This is going to be a lot of fun over the last 10 days.
Well, when Alex Cora comes back to the Red Sox, pretty much the same lineup, and they're back, in the playoffs or in the hunt, whereas they were horrific last year when he was on his suspension, if you will. I know what the hollering is going to be because I follow it every day to day. It's going to be Aaron freaking Boone, and we're not saying it in a positive way. Now we're saying it in a negative way. Some people want to say, oh, what a job he's done with the injuries and everything. And others will say the approach is just awful. They had a team that was built too right-handed. They brought in a couple of lefties at the trade deadline, in Gallo and Rizzo. I think Rizzo has a chance of sticking. I would let Gallo go. I mean, you know who Gallo is? Dave Kingman. I say that, nobody knows who the hell I'm talking about. Gallo is Dave Kingman. It's all or nothing, and there's a lot more nothing than all, and it kills you. But their approach is to bop like crazy, and it just doesn't work. I like what you say. Keep the line moving, put the ball in play, go the other way, play baseball instead of home run derby, and it's a different deal. If they don't figure out a way to save this thing, win a wild card game, and go deep again into playoffs, I'd clean that dugout out in a hurry. And I mean the guys that sit in the manager's office.
Well, and they might not have much of a choice. I mean, you know how impatient the fans are up there. I mean,
I'm one of them.
When you look at that, and you look at that roster up and down, there's no excuse not to be at least in the LCS every year.
Right.
And then on top of that, you look at what the Rays are doing. I mean, the small market Rays, what they've been doing year after year, and the fact that they're more of a competitor right now than the Yankees, you got to start looking in the mirror a little bit and start realizing that, hey, you don't need all these boppers. You need guys who can play real baseball. And right now that's not happening in New York, especially, the Indians just beat you in back-to-back games. I want to say it was 20-2 or something like that in your yard. You got to look in the mirror a little bit. Something's not right there.
Something is not right there for sure. By the way, the Rays, their run differential, 172. The Blue Jays run differential plus 177. The Yankees are 30. You know what I mean? That just tells the story, right there. I mean, they played so many one-run games, lost so many of those types of games. I mean, Atlanta is plus 110, and they're the only team in the National League East that has a positive run differential. I mean, that's just how different it is there. That's why they should, even with all the injuries and everything else, the rest of that division just didn't answer the bell, and that's why Atlanta's going to win that division. Yeah.
And that's why you need other ways to score than just hit the home run. You got to do other things. You got to go gap to gap. You got to move guys along, go to the off field, and that's just not what New York is built for.
Yeah. All right, next week when we talk, there'll be a week to go in the season, so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be fascinating stuff. Yes, all the way across the board. What the Braves can do out west before they come home to finish with 6 straight games at home, and in the American League, what the Yankees can do at the Red Sox for 3 this weekend, and then follow that up right to Toronto for 3 with the Blue Jays. So it's a playoff tournament basically between those 3 teams coming up. Josh Caray has been our guest. Josh, I appreciate you.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, let's get a break in here. The 12-team playoff in college football. Is this thing so dead that they're not even going to meet about it now? We'll talk about that. Plus, the 2022 schedules are out for the SEC. I'm not sure why. I really am not sure why. I'll explain that as well. It's all coming up right here. Open lines, 256-576-4977, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Simple Green is perfect for making your auto, RV, cycling, boating, and other sporting equipment look like new. Visit them at simplegreen.com.
Tomorrow, Thursday night football, the Carolina Panthers at home against the Houston Texans. Carolina an 8-point road favorite, the over-under 43. On Sunday, the Falcons at the Giants. Atlanta a 3-point road underdog, the over-under 48. Baseball, the Braves and Diamondbacks tonight. Atlanta minus 175 on the money line. Arizona at plus 165, the over-under 9. Ian Anderson getting the start against Merrill Kelly. After being postponed, the trilogy fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder will take place on October 9th. Fury, who won the last fight between the two back in February 2020, comes in the favorite at minus 325, Wilder at plus 230.
I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It is week 5 of the high school football campaign, and join us this Friday night as the Randolph Raiders head on the road to Rainbow City, Alabama to take on the Westbrook Christian Warriors. Randolph Raider football on 97.7 ESPN The Zone is presented by Randolph. Check them out online at randolphschool.net. Join us this Friday for the Raiders and Warriors on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that His mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Hey friends, Eli Gold here for Environmental Comfort Systems. If you're concerned about the air quality inside your home, give my friend Rick Smith a call at Environmental Comfort Systems. Their indoor air quality systems remove 99.9% of indoor air contaminants. Give the trusted professionals at Environmental Comfort Systems a call, or visit them online at envcomfort.com and see how comfortable you can be. Breathe cleaner air today. Environmental Comfort Systems, Alabama license number 92314.
Angie's List is now Angie, and caring for your home just got easier. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or a dream remodel, Angie makes it easy to see reviews, compare quotes, and connect with top local pros who can get the job done right. Plus, you can see upfront pricing and instantly book hundreds of projects. No phone tag, just the work you need done at a time that works for you. Angie's got your to-do list covered from start to finish. Book your next home project today at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Switch to WOW, internet for the most speed at the best price. 1 gig internet is now only $54.99 with a 2-year price lock guarantee, a free modem, and a $200 gift card. Call 833-WOW-SALE for offer details today.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
Thom Abraham here from my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
From the WZDX Pinpoint Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're going to hold on to the opportunity for some scattered showers and thunderstorms at least through the first half of the day. Then it looks like we're going to begin to dry things out across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. I actually think we're going to get to enjoy a fair amount of sunshine, but that drier air is on the backside of a cold front. We're not really going to warm up much Wednesday afternoon. Highs only climbing into the low and mid 70s, dropping into the upper 40s, lower 50s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Abraham Show brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford. For all your service needs, just one answer, Woody Anderson Ford. They'll take care of you. They do a tremendous job down there. It doesn't have to be a Ford to get serviced at Woody Anderson Ford, but when you see their service department, you're going to realize why they are second to none. Check out Woody Anderson Ford, Woody Anderson of Madison. Phone lines are now open, 256-576-4977. That will get you into the show. You want to react to anything that we have talked about so far, you can go ahead and jump on the line with us there. That is, of course, 256-576-4977. From the text window, I thought kind of an interesting text here, Grizz. I guess it was just a coincidence that the Braves took off when Acuna went down. He is such a me-first player. Look at me. Without him, Freddie can lead. It's an interesting take because I saw something similar happen with the Yankees as well. When the Yankees had a bunch of guys go out with the COVID, they brought up a bunch of kids that were just, the Velasquez kid and Tyler Wade, and they had all of these guys. You didn't even know who they were. They were number 91, and they're out there winning games. And they went out and started winning games. The Gill kid, the pitcher, Heel, whatever his name, Buddy Heel or whatever they call him, they went out and started winning games. I hate to think that a team can be better when they lose a guy like that, but you know what I mean? I don't think they're better without Acuna, but I think there's a message here. I think there's a message here to a guy like Acuna. Hopefully when he comes back, he'll realize that he is just 1/9 of this team. He's not the whole team. He's just 1/9.
And it just shows you just the level of it just feels like nobody really knew what they were doing at the beginning of the season, because I get it. We never would have thought that, we would have had a situation like we would have had with the domestic violence case and everything like that. Like, we never would have thought that Ozuna would have done that, even though it happened the year before with his girlfriend, the other way around. So, when you're going into, looking at guys, like Inciarte, for instance, I don't even think he's even back in the league. I think he's still playing AAA ball for whatever team he got traded to. So, what was the thought process when re-signing guys who had not that too great of a season, well, especially during the playoffs, because Ozuna was non-existent during the entire playoffs.
In the playoff, but he was a horse last year.
I think
that. You had, and plus, you didn't know at the time whether or not there'd be a DH, and there's going to be a DH probably starting next year. So I think that there was other than being a dirtbag that hits his girlfriend allegedly. So for Ozuna, I think that
I get that.
You can live without Ozuna.
I get that, but here's the thing. You had a guy in Duvall who was raking at Truist.
Should have never let him go.
Never should have left him go. I mean, you could have got him cheaper than Inciarte. You're paying $8 million for Inciarte, and the guy can't even stay healthy. So, I mean, what was the thought process when they were getting guys to come back? I love the Drew Smyly resign, even though, or the signing, even though it just, he's not been the greatest pitcher, but he's been consistent. He'll give you 5 to 6 innings, a game. And then with, of course, Charlie Morton, who the guy never and I get it. We talk about we don't know how guys would have developed or whatever, but the Braves do this all the time. They get rid of young talent that go on somewhere else, and they get better. So Charlie Morton went on, got better, and came back, and it was a great re-signing. I mean, Soler, Rosario. I mean, these guys that they signed halfway through the season at the trade deadline, it's like, why didn't you just pull the trigger and go for them early on?
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is it? I'm not even a front guy.
Plus, some people aren't going to give up some of those guys.
No, I understand that until halfway.
But the point is this: can Acuna come back? Acuna is one of the top 5 or 6 baseball players in the league right now.
Yeah.
Okay, a young guy. I mean, just amazing. Can he come back with a little bit of a different attitude? Did his me first attitude hurt the team? Because when they had Acuna, they were scuffling. The whole time they had him, they were a 500 team.
Yeah.
He goes out, 82 games in, he goes out, and they have been a better team ever since Acuna went away.
Right.
Facts are stubborn things.
You're right. And that's the thing. It's like, was it more of a me? And I get it. I love the flashiness. I mean, I think, honestly, I think he's just bringing something different to baseball. I mean, look at Tatis. We're having problems with the Padres right now, and that's all we were hearing about.
But they got Tatis and Machado.
Right.
And look what they are. They missed the playoffs. There is no excuse for that. So maybe some of this showmanship, the new, hey, it's in the game, it's in the show, it's in the game, all that crap. You know what? Maybe that stuff still doesn't work. Maybe, like Machado said, I mean, of all people, right? Manny Machado is telling Fernando Tatis, it's not all about you. What? It's all about me, okay?
Even though this guy went to like 3 different teams in like 4 years or whatever, he just kept getting big deal after big deal after big deal, which is insane, but baseball contracts are ridiculous. So, but yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying, because with Acuna, that's the thing. It's like, I love his flashiness. I love the way he plays. I love that he's always got a smile on his face. He's always he's very, emotional when he plays. And that can hurt people sometimes too, because it could rub wrong on the team and everything like that. But I think if he does come back, when he does, obviously you've got him for the next 5-6 years. So
you just got to come back with a little different attitude.
Come back a little bit
older,
hat in hand, a little older, a little more mature.
A little more maturity.
And I think the injury will do that.
Yeah. And remember, it's Freddie's team. I don't care how good you are.
I think
as long as Freddie is there, it's Freddie's team.
I still think it's Freddie's team.
Yeah,
whether he's there or not.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, is he has to remember it's Freddie's team.
Oh, of course, yes.
Fall in line. All right, let me get Brandon in here quick. Brandon, welcome to the show. How are you?
Man, I am doing fantastic. I was going to talk a little NASCAR with you, but I wanted to check and see if you had a chance to see the 30-year classic Tombstone over the weekend.
If I saw the what?
Movie Tombstone over the weekend. You said
I did. I watched Tombstone that night after you guys went into all of that stuff about Tombstone and how I was a knucklehead for not watching the movie. I literally watched Tombstone with my wife and my sons on Friday night. I really want to see Cry Macho. That's what I'm going to see this one. I want to see Cry Macho with the Clint Eastwood. But I watched the Tombstone. I didn't realize till halfway through it that it was basically largely a true story. So I didn't kind of realize that part of it. I thought it was really good. I thought it had some great performances in it. It was an unbelievable cast. I mean, the people that were in that movie, even if they were in there for just a short period of time, it had a really great cast in there. And yes, my favorite line is, "Are you just going to stand there and bleed?" But I thought it was very good.
Well, in relaying a little bit, over the weekend, my neighbor comes over and says, "I want to show you something." He watches NASCAR probably the past 10 years.
Yeah.
He knows I watched it all the way back in the old days. And he shows me on the iPad this clip about Kevin Harvick having a stroke and all this stuff. And he's like, "Then I want to show you what he's mad about." And I watched the video, and I looked at him. I said, "Now, help me here." I said, "What exactly is he mad about?" And my neighbor starts laughing. And I said, "He's mad because he got a little bump in the corner?"
No, he's mad because no. He's mad because Chase Elliott was pissed off at Harvick the way Harvick passed him for the lead, and then when Chase Elliott got in front of him, Chase Elliott would pull out in front of him and just slow down. He'd pull out in front of him and slow down. And remember, Chase Elliott and Larson are Kyle Larson are teammates, and he was just messing with him. If I was Harvick, I would have booted Elliott. If I was Harvick, I would have dumped Elliott. He should have spun his ass out and left him in the fence the way that was going down. I'm going to be. You and I are going to agree to disagree on this one, because I think Harvick was 100% right, and he should have dumped Elliott. How about that?
Well, for me, out on the track, short of just wrecking somebody into the wall on purpose, it's all fair, love, and war out there. And if you're going to jump out and go running up to somebody, to me, you better be ready to go Donnie Allison, Cale Yarborough, Donnie Allison, Bobby Allison. You better be ready to throw them things.
Well, you got to get the helmet off. You got to get the helmet. My problem with that was that why does Harvick have his helmet on and Elliott has his helmet off? If you're coming to me, it was like Jason Varitek and the fight with Alex Rodriguez when Varitek didn't take his mask off and he's punching at Rodriguez and A-Rod is trying to get at him and he's got his mask on. If you're Harvick, you got to take your damn helmet off, and he's got his helmet off and then get nose to nose. I didn't like one guy with his helmet on. That was kind of stupid.
Well, there's too much of this little girl in the NASCAR where we want to run up in people's face and act like something's going on when there's not. When the Alabama gang wanted to throw down with somebody, there wasn't no words. The fists were flying before you got within arm's reach. And I just don't think that Kevin Harvick could have ever really raced back in the day, and that's what's wrong with these drivers now.
I don't know. I think
from pitch a fit.
I don't know. I think Harvick is more – I think he's the last of the old-school racers. I think Harvick is a guy that could and did, by the way. I mean, think about it. He's raced for 20 years now. I think Harvick could – I think he's a throwback. I think these other guys are the bigger issue. They get – remember, this all started because Chase Elliott got his shorts in a knot over the fact that Harvick bumped and runned him. You know what I mean? When he passed him. And then he would – so then when he got in front of him, he would go out in front of him and then slow down intentionally. That's why Harvick should have dumped him. He should have put the bumper horn on him and dumped him.
He should have put him in the wall.
That's what I'm saying. He should have put him in the wall. Yeah, Harvick should have put him in the wall.
Instead of jumping out like and pretend like you want to fist fight somebody
right.
with your helmet on, put him in the wall and then say, hey, I handled it on the track.
Yeah, spin him out. You know, I mean, it's Bristol. That's what you do. You spin them out. I mean, you know, Waltrip and Earnhardt, right? Earnhardt dumped those guys. If they got into it like that, he would dump them on the track and then let's go afterwards. And like Earnhardt said, I didn't mean to wreck him. I just mean to rattle his cage a little bit. Just want to rattle his cage.
You know, like he did Bobby Labonte, and Bobby Labonte said, well, no hard feelings, I guess, after he spun him out. But, I mean, they need to go back and put that bar in the front end of the car and in the rear end of the car like they were doing at Talladega, where you could just run up and push somebody and it wouldn't collapse the back end of the car.
Right.
They need to put that back into the car, so if you want to get out there and knock a little bit, you can knock a little bit. But, you know, we don't want to hurt no sponsors' feelings or bend their car up a little bit because they might have to pay for it.
Yeah, they got it on the short tracks. They don't have it in the super speedways. They don't want them touching each other. So.
They need to reinforce that thing up and down both sides where you can get out there and do like Days of Thunder when they rented the rental cars. That's what they need to
do. Beating and banging. All right, Brandon. Appreciate you, man.
Roll Tide.
Just beating and banging. Back in, I don't know what, May, was it? It was inevitable that we were going to get a 12-team playoff. I mean, it was done. Remember, the only question is when was it going to start? Everybody voted on it. It was good to go. And then they were going to meet on September 28th, and they were going to adopt this 12-team playoff plan, and it was going to basically just be rubber stamped. Then all hell broke loose. That's when then all of a sudden Oklahoma and Texas are going to the SEC, and the American is falling apart, and those guys are going to the 12, and all this is going on. Now, there's a possibility they may not even have the meeting. Okay? Chris Dobb, he said those necessary, the College Football Playoff Board of Managers, those necessary to vote on the adopting of the 12-team playoff, may be asked to not even fly to Chicago for the previously scheduled meeting on September 28th. The differences are so vast among stakeholders at this point that the possibility of getting a unanimous vote from the board consisting of university presidents and chancellors next Tuesday seems like a long shot. It's gotten to the point where even having the meeting at all may prove a worthless endeavor. Bill Hancock, friend of the show, College Football Playoff Executive Director Bill Hancock, said, we're going to know about that tomorrow. Being, yesterday. We'll see if they get there. It's 50-50 maybe. It's complex. We knew it would be. CBS Sports reported earlier this month that college football playoff expansion was unlikely to be approved at the meeting, one that was originally thought to be scheduled as a means of rubber stamping. That's the word I used. An expanded 12-team playoff field. Why it has become clear in recent days is what has become clear in recent days is why. The College Football Playoff Management Committee, the 10 FBS commissioners, and Notre Dame Athletic Director Jack Swarbrick could formally recommend expansion as soon as Tuesday following the scheduled meeting in Dallas. However, that's next Tuesday. However, a call among the members of the committee held last week produced what was termed as an airing of grievances. They went Festivus. Instead of having this meeting, they went Festivus. It had an airing of grievances. It's just too far. It's just too much up in the air. And remember, this is not Greg Sankey pushing for this. Greg Sankey came on the show and he said, look, I'm good. We're good. I'm fine with the 4-team playoff because he knows he gets a team every year and sometimes 2. Good. Media rights issues, expanding the postseason, make it too much look like the NFL or professional sports playoffs. There was issues about when it would be expanded, which they were looking at 2023. It's only a couple of years away. They had the option of offering ESPN the opportunity to buy additional playoff games within the 12-year term at the above-market rate. The buy would be an increase from 7 games in the current deal, 3 playoff games, and 4 New Year's 6 games to 11 games in a 12-team playoff. Or the college football playoff could tell ESPN that they only get half the rights and bring in another partner for the games, which could be CBS, could be Fox. It's all falling apart. It's all falling apart. And we're going to end up being left with what we got right now, the 14 playoff. And I'll say it again. If they'll just go ahead and finish the expansion of the conferences and get us to 4 super conferences, 4 16-team conferences. The SEC's leading the way on this. Get the Big Ten straightened out. Get whether it's the Pac-12 or the Big 12. The Pac-12, the Big 12 may be ahead of the Pac-12 now with their expansion plans. The ACC needs 2 teams. Get it done. Get West Virginia in there. Get another team in there. Get it done. Steal USF. Let UCF go to the Big 12. Steal USF. Give me 4 teams. 4 conferences. 4 16-team conferences. And then you have 4 conference championship games. Which is 8 teams, right? So you win one of these big 8-team divisions. You have 8 teams, just like the conferences 100 years ago used to all be. The SEC was 8 teams. The Big 8 was 8 teams. The Pac-8 was 8 teams. Only the Big 10 had 10 teams. So now you have 8-team divisions. You got to win one of those divisions, and that becomes the first round of the playoffs, basically. Win a division, go to a conference championship game. Win a conference championship game. Those 4 conference championship games among those 8 teams, those are your 8 playoff teams. And then play the 4 down to 2, down to 1. Just do it. I think that's the biggest issue here, is reorganizing the conferences. Grumpy says, don't get too excited, cry macho, B movie at best. Eastwood's worst movie, even worse than The Rookie. His second worst movie.
Nah.
Did you see it? How do you know?
I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, you saw it?
Yeah.
You saw Cry Macho. So you think Cry Macho's pretty good. Grumpy says Cry Macho.
I'm just being negative towards Grumpy because what he said.
Well, did you see it or not?
No, I didn't. I was.
Well,
just
you
messing.
don't know then. He might be right. You and me, what do we know?
I was just giving him a hard time.
I see Eastwood in a Western, and I'm like, this has got to be cool as hell.
Yeah. Well, I thought like Flags of Our Fathers and what was the other one he did was pretty good. Those were.
I don't know about Flags of Our Fathers. I didn't see that one, but what was the one he did with the smuggling? Remember that one? That was good. When he was smuggling stuff.
I never got to see that. I'm gonna have to watch that one.
That movie's good.
I remember wanting to see that. The Mule.
What is it called?
The Mule.
The Mule.
Yeah.
The Mule was good. How old is Clint Eastwood though?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say Clint Eastwood's 92.
Clicking on him right now. Here we go.
Click on to Clint Eastwood. I'm saying 92. Off the cuff, I'm going 92.
Hold on, I didn't have it right away.
What the hell's
91.
He doing? 91. The hell's he doing movie? So he did this movie. He was 90 when he did this movie. I saw him punch a guy in the trailer. So 90-year-old Clint Eastwood's punching a guy? Damn. It reminds me of Henry Fonda in On Golden Pond. Wasn't that his last movie? He was half dead during the movie.
Gosh, Live Free, Die Hard was awful. Or what was it? Not Another Day to Die Hard or something like that. That was an awful movie with what's his name? I mean, there's just older actors doing action movies. Just I don't know. I can't get into him, you know. He did Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. I thought those were two really. That was back in 2006.
He said, if you want to watch geriatrics, they put on plays down at the old folks' home in Huntsville. You can go down there.
I'm usually one of those actors, but thanks. No, I'm just kidding. He was in or did he do Richard Jewell, or was he in Richard Jewell?
I don't think he's in Richard Jewell.
I thought that
was he in the Richard Jewell movie? I think his last great movie. Was he in The Rookie? Is he talking about Trouble with the Curve? I don't think he was. Was he in The Rookie? No, he wasn't in. He's talking about Trouble with the Curve, maybe, which I thought was good. I thought Trouble with the Curve was good.
Is that
but I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. Yeah,
dating somebody or something.
Right, but the last Eastwood movie might be the boxing one with the female boxer, something baby.
Good one that he was in,
$1 Million Baby or something like that.
So the last few that he was associated with, Richard Jewell, Sully.
He was in Richard Jewell. He was in Sully? No, he's the director.
He's like the director, but I mean, it's like associated with me. It's still his movies.
Yeah.
You're talking about as an actor?
Yeah. His last great movie was $1 Million Baby.
I thought Gran Torino was pretty good.
Gran Torino was before $1 Million Baby. It was good. Gran Torino was very good.
It was 2008. $1 Million Baby was in 2004.
All right, Gran Torino was after. I
get off my lawn.
I love Gran Torino. All right, so Gran Torino is the last great.
That was the whole point of your sounder, you know.
That was. Oh, there was no doubt.
Get off my lawn.
Straight from Gran Torino.
Yeah, because I don't.
Gran Torino's 2008. $1 Million Baby's 2004.
Yeah.
That's 16, 17 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought that movie just came out. Not too long ago. Let me get a break. Let's come home or come back and wrap this sucker up. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Chad, cue the cheesy Italian music. So you're in charge of the dinner spot, and the family is a hard group to please. Dad wants award-winning 21-day-age certified Angus beef. Mom craves authentic Italian food like great-grandma. Sissy pretty much won't eat anything but fresh seafood. And old life of the party, Uncle Walter, likes to enjoy a cigar after dinner with some live local entertainment and some killer cocktails. So you think you're in a pickle? Well, you're not. Relax. I'm Tom Chapman, chef at Nick's Ristorante at 10300 Bailey Cove Road, just south of Weatherly. We have all that and more. Our friendly and helpful staff is eager to help you Tuesday through Saturday, starting at 5. So, corral that crazy crew of yours and give us a call at 256-489-8280 or tell them to check us out at nicksristorante.com. I promise you, the gang will all think you're a culinary cruise director of awesomeness if you take them all to Nick's. See you soon. Ciao. Okay, Chad, kill that music.
Nick's is for patrons 19 or older.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Ann Adams. And I understand you have some exciting news.
Yes, Wes, I do. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services was just recognized in the 30th Annual Harris Poll Equitrend as the Real Estate Agency Brand of the Year and the most trusted real estate brand.
That is awesome news, Ann. You know, great companies in Huntsville, Alabama, winning awards is what we want. Is it a great time to list your home?
Yes, it is. The inventory is low and the market is heating up.
And I understand you're also looking for agents.
I am. We are so busy, Wes, we need agents to keep up with the demand.
Ann Adams and Rise Real Estate has been doing business in North Alabama for the last 35 years. If you want to do business with someone you can trust, she has been writing contracts since she was 9 years old. Call Ann today at 256-337-2625.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
People stay just a little bit longer. We want to play just a little bit longer.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. I wish I had more time. I wish I could just stay a little longer. Text window. You want an old guy, tough guy movie, Secondhand Lions. I have not seen Secondhand Lions.
Oh, wow.
All I have seen is this great bar fight scene.
How's that barbecue? Give me some.
We're busy. Boy, get lost, all right?
What'd you say? What'd you say?
What did you say?
Oh, bud.
Here's a perfect idea of courage and manhood is to get together with a bunch of punk friends and ride around irritating folks.
I gotta see this movie.
It's a great movie.
All I've ever seen is the bar scene, the fight scene.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love it.
I gotta watch it. That's this Friday's movie. I'm gonna watch Secondhand Lions. All right, that's it. Hour number 2 is in the hopper, which means the show is done. Coming up next is Chuck Oliver, then Paul Feinbaum, and The Drive with Wes and Steve. It's all right here on your home for the Tide, the Braves, Madison Academy, Huntsville Panthers, and everything else that matters. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.